I want to show the idea of Jesus in the Quran, the story of Jesus in the Quran, and the story of Jesus in the New Testament, um, actually being the same story and paralleling each other in all the details of the story. They're actually the same story. If we read it closely, here's the Quran. Um, and for boasting, speaking of the people that set Jesus up and tried to have him killed, and for boasting, we killed the Messiah, Jesus, the Son of Mary, the messenger of God, but they neither killed nor crucified him. It was made to appear so. It was only made to appear so. So they thought they were killing him permanently, as in death, as in permanent death, permanently killing someone, murder. Even those who argue for this are in doubt. They have no knowledge whatsoever, only making assumptions. They certainly did not kill him. Rather, God raised him up to himself. God is almighty and all wise. And so we'll see that this is actually what happened in the New Testament, um, right here. So here's the passage right here. When Jesus therefore had received the vinegar, he said, "It is finished." He bowed his head and gave up his spirit, his soul, his spirit, the essence of the being, the life inside of him, left his body, left his physical body like a shell. That was the body, that's the bodily apparition of Jesus's flesh, body. Um, the Jews, therefore, because it was preparation that the body should not remain upon the cross on the Sabbath day, but that Sabbath day was a high day, besought Pilate that the legs might be broken and that they might be taken away. So they wanted the bodies taken down early because they're typically still alive. These people are still alive at this point. They haven't been killed. Jesus hadn't been. He gave up his spirit, his ghost. He wasn't. He left his body. His soul, his consciousness left the body. Then came the soldiers and broke the legs of the first and of the others which was crucified with him. So the soldiers, the other two men, were still alive. Jesus had already given up his ghost, his soul, his spirit. It left his body. He wasn't murdered. He wasn't killed yet. He gave up. He gave his soul back to God. But when they came to Jesus and saw that he was dead already, they broke not his legs, but they then pierced him through the heart, and forthwith came out all the blood and water. So they see his dead body lying there, sitting there, since his soul has already left the body, so it's already gone. It says he gave up his ghost. So they're stabbing his empty flesh, corpse at this point, the dead, his empty body, with the soul has already left. Um, and as it says in the Quran, in this translation, because their sayings, we slew the Messiah, Jesus, the Son of Mary, God's messenger. They did not kill him or crucify him, but it appeared so unto them. And lo, there's disagreement concerning it, but God took him up to himself. So it's the soul left his body, for those 3 nights. He went into the heart of the earth, as it says. His body was buried into the tomb. His soul was not held in death. He then goes back into his body. His flesh body is glorified and raised alive. His being left the body on before the crucifixion was done. They had only nailed them up there, and they were preparing to torture them for hours. They would hang there for, I think, hours on end. These bodies were brought down early, while typically they would have still been alive. So as it says, So this is fully, I think, confirmed in the Quran. The true story in the gospel, as we're reading in the Gospel of John, in the Quran story, and then God took him up to himself, as we know, so that Jesus was raised in a glorified body. He's then seen in spiritual, in a spiritual way, by several of the disciples, and then they see him go up, being raised up to God in this glorified body, obviously transcending the flesh, transcending in a transcendent nature, as the Quran implies in Surah An-Nisa, chapter 158. But Allah took him up to himself. God is ever wise and mighty. So I just wanted to share that, and then show the factors of Jesus's nature. I'll show that, and when Adam was made, we said unto all the angels, prostrate yourselves to Adam. They fell prostrate, all saving Satan. Satan demurred out of pride, and so became a disbeliever. And we said unto Adam, dwell you in the garden, and eat freely thereof, where you will but come nigh to this tree, lest you become wrongdoers. So Adam, upon the creation of Adam, everything in creation had to submit. All the angels had to submit and bow to Adam. Jesus is the new Adam. So this is also confirmed in the Quran, where Jesus was raised. Jesus is raised up to be with God. Lo, the likeness of Jesus with God, with Allah, is as the likeness of Adam, as we can clearly see here. I'm trying to show this clearly. Lo, the likeness of Jesus with Allah is the likeness of Adam. Created him out of and said to him, be it, he is. Just as with Adam, made in the beginning, before sin came into the world, before Satan, Jesus, as we know, overcame Satan. So Jesus is then taken up to God, not held in death as the descendants of Adam have been. Jesus was taken up. So Jesus, as the new Adam, is in the position that Adam was in. We said unto the angels, prostrate yourselves to Adam. All the angels in heaven had to prostrate to Adam. We're going to prostrate to Adam. Jesus overcomes Satan's temptation, becoming that new Adam, as being taken up and highly exalted. The Quran says he was highly exalted by God, both in this world and in heaven. So everything is confirmed in the Quran. So God bless. I pray that I hope to get this message out to Muslims and Christians to show that this is not denying the crucifixion of Jesus. Jesus being exalted by God, taken up to heaven in a glorified state, metaphysical state. So this would confirm all of the Gospels, the Gospel accounts at the end where he's taken up. This would confirm that they saw him, raised up to God in the heavens. The visions of Paul and James and the others that saw Jesus after his physical death, and they see him raised up in glory. So it really confirms all of it in the Quran.